Obani, lababantu, Obani, lababantu. Those are the lyrics of a song that became popular in 2020. It was locked down, and a 65-year-old rose to prominence with the song Obani, lababantu. Directly translated, who are those people? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guest. She was 65. For those that love social media, you know her very well. But for those that don't love Facebook and Twitter and that are not always spending time there, let me tell you about this person. She's a lady, an old lady, 65 years old. Her stage name is G65. G is for Gogo, it's an acronym, means granny in English. 65 is her age. Now, people were making fun of her. Because of something called FOMO, everyone wanted to know who is G65. And we all rushed to try and find out. And inadvertently, by accident, the song rose and was #1 song that was streamed and downloaded because everyone was poking fun about this old lady. Why doesn't she take pension? Doesn't she have grandkids to play with? Why is she recording? I mean, she was trying to do amapiano, which is a genre that the young kids are doing. Those are in high school and some first-year students. And also, I suffered from FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. I also went to download and say, who's this lady? So I downloaded and the song. But to my surprise, she became the highest ranking artist at the time. And media started to pay attention, and she was called to interviews. And they asked her, G65, I mean, what made you record this song, this genre? I mean, it's for kids. This is a PhD candidate. She's a lecturer. She's old. I mean, why would she do such a thing? And then she goes on to explain something which sticked with me. She says, I always wanted to record a song. But as I got older, I put it off. And the desire has not left me. I've never stopped wanting to do this. And it went on and on and on and on. And she said, you know what, I decided I am going to forget about what people say. And she says to the person interviewing her, she said, as I penned the song in my mother tongue, I said, lababantu bazothini, which means, what will people say? 65-year-old, recording a song, and she went on, Obani, lababantu. She asked another question, who are these people that I'm so scared of? In a dramatic turn of events, she then goes back to answer that question. She says, perhaps those people, yimi nawe. It's me and you. And she made a call that day that she's not going to let anyone's opinion about when she needs to achieve this, by which date. She's going to be the captain of her own ship and she's going to live a life. So I thought to myself, many people, including myself, we are so scared about what people think about us. The timelines, the speaker that came spoke about marriage and challenges, the timelines that we need to have to do certain things, achieve things, get married, and do a lot of things that we want to do. So much that we close ourselves in. And I've taken time to research and study about just life in general. And I've came to the conclusion that actually no one can impress all the people all the time. Even the biblical Jesus Christ, who's regarded as the Messiah, was not loved by all the people. I mean, they crucified him, they did all sort of things. And he's noted somewhere in the Gospels being frustrated, and he says to the people that misunderstood the fact that people won't always approve of what you do, he says to them, for you have loved the praises of men more than the praises of God. And I took time to reflect. Let me tell you this before I get to this point that I'm trying to get to. 8 months later, G65 passes on. And it's a big story. And people are just asking. And now I'm driving to work, I'm listening to this show, and this person says, perhaps G65 was a peculiar person called by God to spread a message to someone who needs to do something. To say, who are those people? that you're bothered about. Perhaps it's you and me. It's the person sitting next to you. It's the person around you. And why should you bother yourself? Because you came alone and you will live alone. So I suggest that we sort of live our lives, we achieve what we wanted to achieve at our own pace, and don't let the world dictate to us how we need to achieve what we need to achieve. Nelson Mandela is a great man, but I was shocked by someone who said to me, I don't like Nelson Mandela. I said, but why? He said, there's no reason. I said, but you can't hate someone for no reason. He said, I don't feel that guy, man. There's something I don't feel about that guy, you know? My blood and his blood just don't really match, you know? So I realized that whatever you do or you don't do, you will always have people who will not like you or approve of you. So, Obani, lababantu, who are these people that you're worried about? Perhaps you need to come back and reflect and say, you don't need to be bothered about what people think about you. Just last week, after I've done this beautiful thing now with DTM, I'm like, I need to get the gigs now, I'm a keynote speaker. When I got this award sometime, I just started writing to agencies. My name is Boni Matala, this is my profile, so we need this and that. I gave it to them, and the calls were just not coming in. So I said to myself, Obani, lababantu. Who are these people that I want, that I'm so reliant on them to book me as a speaker? I decided that I am not going to ask for permission. I'm just going to be like that guy that takes rank who just record his CDs, have his big speaker and CDs, and start performing and sell his music because no big agency or big record label is going to fund me, so I'm going to go all alone. So I told people, guys, I'm doing an event. I SMS people, WhatsApp people, and I said, guys, I'm going to have 3 speakers and all of those things. I was expecting to sell 25 tickets and at least have 20 people in attendance. To my surprise, as I was doing this, I was asking myself, will people pay me to come to my event? And I started doubting myself, am I good enough? I know I'm a DTM, but will people really take out like 200 rands and come to my event? And I started questioning myself, and I remembered those words of the late G65. Abantu bazothini. What will people say when I charge them? But actually, who are these people that I'm worried about? And I decided to send emails and all of those things. And 45 tickets were sold just last week. We had an event, and it was a success. To this day, even today, people have been calling me and saying, that was a great event. When are we having the next one? And I realized that perhaps we are our own enemies because we want approval of other people about ourselves. You know that someone has said to you, you can sing, you've got this. People have been telling you since you've been young. But you're worried if Bonnie says, Brian, no, you're a wooden mic, forget about it. Then you start saying, perhaps I'm not good enough. And I think we go around looking for this approval, looking for people to confirm whether or not we're good enough. And as I reflected back on this life of this woman who just rose to prominence within 8 months and left a message, Obani, lababantu. Who are these people that are bothering us so much? Dreams are just put shaft away. Diaries are written, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But they're just put away because Boni Matala is not approving. So and so is not approving. Dreams are just packed because we are scared. Abantu bazothini. What will people say when I start saying, this is what I do? And I think we need to get rid of those misconceptions or ideas that people have about ourselves. And funny enough, when you start doing things, the people who criticize you are the ones who will be singing your praises. G65 rises to prominence, and the young artists, they say, we've been trying for years. How did you break into the space? She becomes a sensation. Downloads. When people like Boni Matala are trying to download for the purpose of laughing at her, the funny thing is that as I was downloading, the money was just given to a pass. Every download and everything. So I have learned that when we take a step, the universe tends to align, directly or indirectly. In this case, it aligned indirectly. What it was meant to mock and to cast and say bad things about her, it elevated her, and she had a lot of streaming, a lot of downloads, and she left a message for you and I in 8 months' time. Obani, lababantu? What will people say? Perhaps those people is me and you. And we need to rid of ourselves of that hindrance that sort of pushes us back. So I want to leave you with that question. Who are those people? Obani, lababantu. Who are those people that you're so fearful of? Because the world is yours. Be fearless, be fruitful, be unforgettable, go for what you want. Mr. Tosman.